So while we take tires off of wheels, you can see we have one side completely done, installed, ready to go. And now we're over here to the passenger side. Just started breaking that down a little bit. You can see that axle is not good. We got a new one. So we're okay with that. So we're gonna finish putting on the A-arm, put the new CV axle in, and then we'll move on to the rear struts. There we go. So we got the axle out. As you can see, the boot should not be disintegrated, but it binds up. Like right there, it should bend nice. We will wiggle around and we'll do that. So these are not that hard to replace. Make sure you got the right size for the nut on this side. And on most front-wheel drive cars, there's a C-clip that kind of squishes in and lets it pop in and out. But you have to get right here to pop it out. So what we have found that works the best in our experience with it is, you can kind of see the stub there from the transmission. So we'll just get something in right here and then pry right there. You just need enough just to make it move, and then she'll go. So we use just a little nail pry bar, works better than anything else. Pops it right out. We sprayed it with a little looby dooby, and then you can see the clip right there that squishes in. There's also a little O-ring on here. Make sure it's not cut. Make sure the clip is still there and not broken, and it should be good. As you can see, this is pretty dirty and greasy around here, so we'll clean it up and go from there. Okay, next we got to do the mount on this side. So this one, 2 bolts on the bottom, 2 bolts on the top. Make sure you secure the bottom of the engine. Just put a jack on it, put pressure, sprayed a little looby dooby on each one. So we'll take those apart and see where we can go. The main reason we need to get the mount out is that bolt right there has to go through that hole and it'll hit the mount. So you can see the bolt, the hole, and then the mount. Yeah, and there's the nut on that side right there. So we'll get the mount wiggled out and see what happens next. So these are 15s on the top, cracked them loose, and now we'll get the bottom guys cracked loose too. So mount is out. You do got to jack the engine up a ways to get that guy out of there and clear the top bolts, but it came and it went. Now plenty of room to get that bolt out that hole right there. So old one, new one, and we just rinse and repeat. Gets the bottom ball joint in. Quick video.
You're still recording right now. It never stopped recording.
This guy's still recording? Oh.
Yeah, you have a 9-minute video going right now. Make it a 10-minute now.
That's the best. Here, let's stop it. There we go. Okay. We got the air bolted in there. Bolted in there.
Is this jacked all the way down now?
Yep.
You want the little jack?
Yes.
Where's the little jack, Henry?
Last thing we got to do is get the ball joint in right there. We got the CV axle in both sides, but the nut slightly more than finger tight. Okay, quick recap. After we got the axle in, leave that kind of finger tight, so a little bit more wiggle room. Then the bolt, the pinch bolt that holds the bottom of the ball joint into the knuckle. Got that. all squared away there. So now everything back here is just finger tight. So we have to tighten all of those guys, and then that should be it. After that, put the caliper, bracket caliper back on, rotor, all that fun stuff. One thing we found a little bit easier is if you bend the dust shield out of the way, that makes you be able to get into the bottom of the ball joint a little easier. Got to bend that back so we don't drag on the disc brake. So we'll do a quick recap after we get those tight. So last but not least, axle nut, 35 millimeter. Have somebody hold the brakes, and it's 160 foot-pounds. So I use that guy to get it up to where it touches, and then use a torque wrench from there, and it's not too bad. So there you go. So now that we have the front end put together, more or less, on to the back springs. Thankfully, these are not too hard. So there's our Moog spring. Part number, where'd the box go? Right here. Part number, whoa, right there, Tough Coil CC81365. And this is a multi-link rear suspension, lots of trailing arms everywhere. Only one we need to worry about is the one that the coil spring attaches to. That one right there. We'll get some light in here. You can leave that trailing arm, you can leave the shock, you can leave the front control arm, you can leave the lower control arm. Don't gotta touch the brake caliper. Just gotta get one bolt out carefully and we're good. So we'll come back in just a sec. So reason we're replacing springs is right there. You can see next to the shadow, that's where the spring, more of the spring should be right there where my finger is. And it's on the road somewhere between here and who knows where. So we'll pop this guy out, get the new one in, and we'll see what happens next. So as you can see, we got that bolt out. Bolt goes from here through here, out here. Half that, part that spring is gone, not half. A lot less pressure on it than the other side. So essentially, we just kind of mark which way the end of the spring fits. The end of the spring is gone, so we're going to mark it the same way. That rubber insulator comes out. That rubber insulator comes out, goes in the new spring, and we're right back in action. Victory. New spring. Paint goes up. We aimed it the same way, the bottom of the spring, along with the control arm. 18 millimeter. But on the other side, have your assortment of punches to get those the right way, and a ratchet wrench makes it nice too. Well, that being said, maybe we'll drive around with a couple sacks of potatoes in the back to break those springs in, but we will see. Okay, all back. Thank you much.